Well, it looks like Reddit stock is collapsing today, and there's some really weird stuff going on with Reddit. We have a lot of their C-suite selling off a whole bunch of shares.
Mm-hmm.
And we have announcements that they're talking about, combating the bots, and they're going to do like facial ID and all that, which is not going well.
No, because they want to talk shit and they don't want to get hit. So they want to be able to say what they want anonymously, because Reddit's like a cesspool.
Oh, Reddit is a cesspool. I would probably party harder if Reddit collapsed than I did when Twitter got bought by Elon Musk. Like I'd be like, Reddit is the biggest dumpster fire on the internet, but a lot of people that have been using Reddit as an attack site for the last, 5-10 years now are freaking out because they're like, well, I'm going to leave the platform because I can't have my identity get leaked. I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, as you go out and like, delete
people, you dox people, but you can't have your identity out. Okay, I want privacy for myself, but everybody else, I'm going to dox and harass them, So we're going to talk about this, try to figure out what's going on, but it is very, very weird that we have a bunch of their C-suite selling off. That tells me
that is weird. That's concerning. Yes.
Things are not looking good at Reddit. And, Reddit, the only thing that really propped them up, I think, over the last year or so was that they had, deals with Google and stuff to train the AI, but I don't think they need them anymore. So we'll see. So before you get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to take a big steaming dump on Reddit because, God, I love the hatred.
To take a big steaming dump on Reddit?
I do. It's just it relieves me of all my anxiety.
That image of Elon Musk.
I don't know. He's either a cyborg or a Chip and Dale or Yes. Or it's like a new He-Man character, Elon.
That's actually like laughs. That's my favorite. Anyway,
all right. So let's look at the stock here, and then we'll talk about what could be contributing to this. So this is coming from MarketBeat, and I kind of you said, Reddit stock just like dropped off a freaking cliff. And we thought it was just at first that they were going to combat bots and do facial recognition. The users aren't liking that, of course, but there's something else going on. So they said shares of Reddit were down 8.2% on Thursday following insider selling activity.
Yeah, that's never a good look when all your C-suite people start dumping their stock. And then you're like, why?
Yeah, there's something going on.
Thankfully, I don't have Reddit stock. I went to look and I don't. So I'm like, oh, hallelujah.
Specifically, CTO Christopher Brian Slow sold 9,500 shares of the firm's stock in a transaction that occurred on Monday, March 23rd. They were sold an average of $141.28 for a total transaction of like $1.3 million. Following that transaction, the chief technology officer owned 38,000 shares of the company's stock valued at about $5.4 million. This trade represents a 19.83% decrease in their ownership of the stock. The sale was disclosed in a legal filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is available through the SEC website. Also, COO Jennifer Wong sold 5,600 shares of the stock. So we've got 3 C-suite people selling off their Reddit stock. What the hell is going on?
Part of it, yeah.
They're not selling all of it.
Everybody's panicking and dropping their stock because they're like, okay, all this was happening, and then they had the announcement that they're going to do recognition, which people aren't going to like. I mean, Reddit, they all want to be anonymous so they could, keep talking shit all the time.
Yeah, so they had a buy rating and issued a $300 target price of shares of Reddit. Well, it's not going to happen. That's weird. There's something going on. I think they know that the house of cards is going to collapse pretty damn soon, and they're trying to get out.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, because it was just like one selling them off. I wouldn't think anything of it, but they're all doing it, and then the announcement today.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of there's too many things to be coincidence.
Yeah, so in related news, COO Jennifer Wong sold 33,000 shares of Reddit on March 18th.
So what they did theirs first, and then
she sold some more. Oh, okay. So yeah, she sold 33,000 shares on March 18th, and then she sold another 5,600 shares after that. Something's wrong.
Something is not right here.
Something is
not
very wrong.
When you have all your C-suite selling off their stock, I would recommend.
Getting the hell out.
Yeah, because I mean that's weird. Why if they thought they were going to make money on it, they would be buying up stock. They wouldn't be selling their stock. But beyond that, it's like it's weird that I mean, it's not weird, but they all sell their stock, and then this announcement comes that they're going to start doing something people aren't going to like.
Yeah. So Reddit CEO Steve Huffman said that the platform is considering introducing ID verification to weed out the bots. So I'm wondering if it's going to come out. If it's going to come out like it did with Twitter when Elon Musk bought it, that Reddit is mostly fake and that there's no value here, right? Because I've seen subreddit, like very obvious bot run or whatever subreddits. It's basically a bunch of activists took over the platform and then they're padding it. They chased off the normal people. So now they're padding it with a bunch of bots. That's what I think's going on.
You can find some groups on there like I do. I love I love Calico Critters and like Sylvanian Family. I have a problem. They're so cute. I can't even. And you can find groups on there that are relatively positive and they're real people. But then you have the big groups like Saltier Than Crate, like the bad one, the rainbow colors and all that. And all these people, and they're constantly. It seems like they're either bots. It seems fake. They're constantly like super political, driving everybody off. And it was always funny to me that was what Google was going to train the internet on.
Yeah, why would you train the internet on literally one of the worst sites on the internet? Like the full
Didn't used to be.
No, actually Reddit, and that's what I was trying to explain to our son, because he's all about, he goes on Reddit, but he doesn't actually interact. But I'm like, I was on Reddit the very first year it opened because I was working in tech and I wanted answers to questions. And hell, I still have my gold membership, which I forgot to turn off. I've been paying like $3 a month for the last umpteen years. But it used to just basically be tech bros answering questions and people would post interesting things that they found on the internet. And we didn't have all these damn activists.
And you had the fun stuff like, am I an asshole and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Or the AMAs, stuff like that. And that was what it was used for. And then it just became this like
a shithole.
Yes. It's like Blue Sky, it's proto Blue Sky.
Yeah. And there's a whole reason why this happened. What happened was we had a lot of the people came in from Occupy Wall Street because there was an anti-Wall Street sentiment in Reddit being more libertarian. It was a more libertarian site.
Another reason you were probably there anyway.
Yeah, that was another reason I was there. Yeah, admittedly, I am definitely a libertarian, but it was more libertarian leaning, and then we started having all these activists come in. And then they started stinking it up with their socialist bullshit. And then they chased off a lot of libertarians.
Well, it's not just that. They like talk shit. They like make up shit about us like all the time specifically.
Oh, God, yeah. They make up shit about everybody.
Bullshit. And they keep, and they're running it like it's fact. And it's like, it's whatever. They can't go down fast enough as far as I'm concerned. So have fun.
So, yeah, this is coming from Engadget. This was a couple days ago. They said Reddit is weighing identity verification methods to combat its bot problem. The platform CEO mentioned...
They admit there's a bot problem.
Yeah. Facial ID and touch ID as ways to verify if a human is using Reddit. And a lot of people are like... No one's going
to want to put their face on... You're going to have to put your face to the comments you've made?
Yeah.
And your identity? They're not going to want to do that.
So according to Steve Huffman, the social media platform is exploring different ways to verify if a user is human or not using a bot. When asked on a podcast how to confirm it's a human using Reddit, Huffman responded with several verification methods with varying degrees of heavy-handedness. Most lightweight way is something like Face ID or Touch ID. That's lightweight. Facial ID, that's they actually require a human presence. Besides, they're talking about passkeys, using biometric data.
That's creepy.
Yeah, nobody's gonna do that on Reddit, right? I think
Would you trust Reddit with this information?
Hell no. Because look, if you get somebody working at Reddit that aligns with these ridiculous Redditors, and they want to leak your info, leak your face, leak your whatever biometric data, leak your bank account, whatever, they would totally do it. I think the whole platform is infected with activists.
Well, what gets me is like, for years, people have done things that are really shitty. And if your name's attached to it, they wouldn't have done that. Or Reddit has, come under fire for protecting people who like leaked things or did things and stuff like that. And I don't think Reddit's going to stand by it anymore. Now they're going to have a person to prove that it was a person who did it. Here you go. Here we turn you over,
this, and they linked to this, and we covered this before, that they said there actually was an experiment that they flooded Reddit with bots.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they experimented on Reddit users with AI generated comments to see what happened. My hunch is it's going to come out very soon that Reddit is like 80% bots, and that the whole
like
platform,
every other social media platform.
Yeah, it's all dead internet, and they've been scamming investors and they've been scamming advertisers, and the whole fucking thing is going to collapse. That's what I think.
I don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen, because the whole C-suite doesn't drop their stocks within days of each other for no reason.
That is very weird. And I just happened to see that because we were talking about, like, we were like, hey, why is the stock dropping? And we thought it had something to do with this, but then it's like, shit, they've been selling off all month.
And here's the C-suite. Here's the thing. It's like, if one person sold off some stock because they were going to make a big purchase and they needed to sell some stock to pay for it or something, or they wanted to switch something else. Okay, yeah, you're allowed to sell your stock. So that'd be okay if one person did it. It wouldn't think anything of it. But the one chick that started, she went back and did it twice. And then all these other people were dropping, like, and we're not talking about, I just sold a little bit of my stock off to, like, get some cash. We're talking like significant amounts. And of course, when you drop that much stock and it's millions of dollars in amounts, that's going to impact the stock price.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here they're bringing it up here on TechCrunch. They said, they're talking about the changes to the platform. They're going to do some kind of verification, right? So the changes are meant to address the growing problem of bots engaging on social media platforms and the web more broadly, where they're often used to influence politics, spread misinformation. Reddit is notorious for that. Inflate popularity, also Reddit. Secretly market products and generate fake ad clicks. According to Cloudflare, the traffic from bots will exceed human traffic by 2027 when you include bots like web crawlers and AI agents. So we're talking, the dead internet is here. There are more bots on the internet now than there are humans, and I think they're driving the humans away. I think this is why we're seeing a push to go back to analog devices and offline devices, because it's the internet is so shitty right now. They said Reddit in particular has become a popular destination for bots that attempt to manipulate narratives, astroturf to shill for companies or their products, repost links, post spam, drive traffic, conduct research, and more. Plus, because Reddit's content is used for AI training, thanks to lucrative deals with AI model providers, there's a suspicion that bots are even posting questions on the site to generate more training data, particularly in areas where AI is lacking information. I have noticed that on Reddit and Quora, that there are questions being asked that no human would think to ask. Like, nobody is legitimately looking for this particular SEO term, but a bot would. Yeah. It's crazy. So yeah, the co-founder, Alexis Ohanian, has also addressed a related problem known as the dead internet theory, a conjecture that bots outnumber humans online. The vast majority of content, interactions, web activity is automated or AI generated. Yes, now they're looking at the human verification. I think what's going to happen is they're going to roll this human verification out, and they're going to realize how fucked they actually are. Because they're going to be like,
already know how fucked they actually are.
We do this, and it turns out that the platform's maybe a tenth of what we thought it was.
Here's the thing, though. They wouldn't be doing that unless there was a reason, the verification. There has to be some reason we're not privy to, or something in the back end, like someone's legal or something. There's got to be some reason, because there's no way they don't know that you know that it's mostly bots. Just like everybody knew Twitter was mostly bots. Everybody knew that. And everybody knows Reddit is. So there's no way they don't know. But they'd be content to leave it go as is, because they're going to make money and they're going to be able to keep the stock up and all that. The fact that they're not letting it go as is, and all of a sudden the C-suite people are dropping their stock before they announce they aren't going to let it go as is, there's something going on.
Yeah.
That's a catalyst for all of this.
They know some shoe is going to drop here pretty damn soon. That's an opinion, but you don't have multiple people from the C-suite ditch their stock because they know the stock's not going to go up anymore. They know it's not going up more, because you'd hold on to it. If you knew it was going to hit $300, $400 a share, you'd hold on to it, right?
Right.
But you're
right.
like, that's it. We're on. That's like, I sold off my Disney stock when it hit like 200 a share or whatever, because I'm like, Disney is never going to be this high again anytime soon.
And they've mocked you for it. This
Yeah,
is
they did. The Reddit people from Reddit mocked me for it. Yes,
it was funny. This is interesting though. The Ready for Conspiracy Theory. Hear me out. They pushed AI so much we end up with the slop we have and force us to verify our IDs and private information so they can control us all more. Which is a plan they tried to achieve several times to harm our privacy already. In code law, it'll only get worse. So basically, they deliberately made it full of AI slop so that you have to prove you're a human so they can have your information. Is what they're trying to argue.
That, and then they'll market to you, and then they'll know what you're posting. Where this is all.
Just go off of it.
I am telling you, and I've talked about this before, and people thought I was crazy. I'm not crazy. I think we're going to wind up with another internet at some point in time. I think we're going to have a totally different internet that's going to feel like the original internet, and we're not going to have all this corporate government bullshit.
Go get some investors and some people, some partners, and go make it.
No, but if we do that, you're going to drag the corporations into, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's true.
Because as soon as you go get venture capital, they want a return on that. So you're going to have to be like, how are you going to make money on this? Well, we're going to have to sell ads. Okay, well, then the whole thing repeats.
Well, you have to sell ads anyway, because if you're trying to replace the fact that people are losing their incomes with their blogs and everything else, you're losing your income. You have to have a way to monetize, because Google took it away. You have another internet, people can go advertise on the other internet, and people are going to need that back because, but yeah, it'll be Google over again. Let's advertise on that one too. I don't know. The whole thing's a piece of shit. I mean, Reddit's something. I mean, something's going to happen. It's going to be very interesting to watch what's going down, because there's definitely, the rats don't jump off the ship unless something bad's coming or happening.
Yeah, there's definitely something going on. Now it's interesting. I forgot. So Dig, I don't know if you want to talk about old internet or 2000s internet. Dig was a bookmarking site for the longest time, right? Dig came back and it tried to be Reddit and it couldn't make a go of it. So it already has collapsed.
I didn't even know it tried. Why would it try to come back and be Reddit?
Because people think Reddit is it. And like, if Reddit is fake, then that model doesn't work. Because I can't believe all
social media is mostly fake at this point. I'd argue pretty much any social media platform is like this.
Well, something's going on with X too, and I just posted about it ironically on X. There's some weird shit going on over there that all of a sudden they were going to crack down on foreign accounts, on accounts from India or Nigeria, and they weren't going to pay them. And then all of a sudden they walk that back. We've got people that are suspected as being in other countries, and now all of a sudden they're in America, so they can continue to pay them. We've got some of the big accounts like Libs of TikTok getting hit with a massive bill. They canceled their account, but there's some weird stuff going on. They're moving features unannounced. They're moving features from one tier to another tier to make you pay more. I think it's going to come out that all of social media is a fucking sham. It doesn't pay. It doesn't pay. And now we're starting to see, I think we're also at the very beginning of the bubble bursting in AI, because I did another video today talking about OpenAI, and they're screwed. They're like screwed. The reason they shut Sora down as fast as they shut it down was it was using too much compute power. There was no path forward to profitability. They tossed overboard.
We already knew this. This is what pisses me off. Yeah. They've already gotten rid of so many people over AI. And we said this, I know we said this like a couple years ago, when this whole thing started. We said that they're spending billions of dollars on this and they're getting nowhere. And it's going to take years for it to be even to a place where they can use it for what they want to use it for. And then it was cheaper to keep using people in the long run. And we said this then. And that was years ago. And then not to mention the environmental impact and all that stuff on this. And now they're starting to learn, but they sunk billions of dollars into it, ruined lots of people's lives by laying them off or getting rid of them to be replaced with AI that was never sustainable to fucking begin with. And then even at the end of the day, let's say the AI is sustainable and you lay everybody off, who the fuck's going to buy your products? Yeah. Because no one has any damn money. So this was always going to happen. But they're so fucking stupid, the rich trying to get richer, that they're just, a tool, yes, but you cannot use it to replace people and use it the way you guys want to use it. It's ridiculous. And then the fact that they were like, and there's no safeguards on these things, and they're trying to have people kill themselves, AI psychosis. It's for humanity in general. It's a detriment. It's a tool. It is not a replacement.
So we're going to wrap this up?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Reddit. There's definitely something going on here. So
yeah, it's very interesting about Reddit. There's something big going on, because the whole C-suite doesn't sell off their stocks like that for no damn good reason. No. Like I said, the rats start jumping off the ship, get your ass off of it too.
All right. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.